What's up, guys? I'm gonna take this apart just to see spring sizes, diameters, check the valve thing. I might pause it in between because there's been a few videos of this being disassembled. I believe it uses like standard or like English size Allen keys and stuff, not metric. Typically, most of my Tippmann stuff uses standard size, not metric Allen keys and stuff. So I'm just removing the stock right here. And I already took off the handle, the carry handle. This is the 50 caliber version of the Cronus. I've only shot this maybe 100 or 200 times with my HPA tank and with my CO2 tank. And I just want to see what's going on inside and measure some of the components in the valve and the power tube and check the bolt and see if I'm gonna have to just basically change out springs or if I can fit the 68 caliber valve into my Cronus. Because there are some different part numbers for the valve and the power tube and stuff and the bolt, but I need to actually see if there is an actual size difference. So I do know that this uses a 50 caliber detent. It has a different part number than the 68 caliber one. And this is the detent right here. Since I don't use this for paintball and I don't really care about the main drive spring, I've been leaving it cocked because when it's decocked, the pressure from the bolt is pushing down the detent, and when it's charged or cocked, the detent is free to pop up. And I'm not planning on using this for paintball, so I don't care that the spring is getting like worn out. When I bought this from Ann's Gear, it was brand new in the box, still sealed. The guy cut the label, like the little sticker, the Tippmann factory sticker thing, saying that it's like sealed products. He cut that in front of me, so I know that it's brand new. But I think it said like 2018, so it's 2025 now. So possibly this had been non-charged, but all the pressure from the front bolt was on the detent for like 7 years or 6 years or however long this has been sitting in that box. So yeah, I need to take this apart. I think it's fairly simple, and I'll probably just pause it during a few times. So I'm taking off the front grip. There's one screw back here that is a Allen head. Oh, sorry, Phillips head screw. So I'm going to take that out. And if you don't take that out, you're not going to be able to separate the launcher or this marker. So I'm just taking this out right now. And yeah, I've never opened one of these. I've just seen videos of it. Doesn't look that hard. It looks pretty similar to my A5. Internally, there's just a bunch of random screws that aren't on my A5. I'm not sure if I have to remove the rails, but I'll figure that out in a little bit. So I'm going to pause it, and when I come back, I'll have this popped open, or I'll slowly remove it. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys. Tippmanns are typically really easy to work on. Cool thing about most of them is that they all have, like, for the outer shell, they're usually like 2 different size screws. So for the ones along the rail, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them on the rail. All of them are the same length, same thread pitch and everything. And typically it's an 1/8 inch Allen key for most of the normal screws, and then a 3/16 Allen key for like the larger ones, which would, for this marker, it would be the velocity adjuster, which is right here. And for 2 Allen key or set screws or Allen keys or whatever, Allen screws that are on the back reverse side of this, and that's holding the valve in the marker. And then there's 4 screws along the trigger and stuff, and those are all the same length and same pitch and everything. So really easy most of the time to work on. And then there's that one that is on the reverse side of the handle. It's a Phillips, like a machine screw, pretty coarse thread. So yeah, there's basically on the outside of this, there's 11 screws that hold it together, 3 different sizes, 4 of one size and 6 of the other size. So after I pulled those screws off, I got a screwdriver and just kind of pried around little areas, and pretty sure it's good to go. I just need to slowly take this off. I've seen a video from Ann's Gear where they say to kind of hold onto the back a little bit, just to make sure that your bolt spring or striker spring doesn't come flying out and stuff. So I'm just slowly lifting this up. Not sure what's going on, but it's wanting to pull back slowly. And if yours is brand new like mine was, there's a little cover on the charge handle. You have to take that off to be able to take your rear, to be able to take this off. Getting hung up on something. Trying to see what that is. I'll be right back. All right, so what I was getting hung up on was this was still slightly under pressure. The striker and the bolt guide and the end cap that holds it all together. So there's some notches on this thing. This little like contours and stuff, and they're going into here because they have to fit in there. So I'm just being mindful of these trigger springs and stuff. I don't want to mess up my sear and stuff. Not yet anyways. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to measure this spring. This is just a bolt bumper so that the hammer isn't just like striking this plastic. And so far this looks pretty similar to my A5 because my A5 has this spring guide. And I'm going to measure this with my caliper right now, see what that is, see how big it is. I believe on Ann's Gear, they said to take this arm off the trigger, and it goes right there and right there. And then I'm going to take that off, put it up here, take your trigger off. There's a pin in the trigger. So you just want to take it all apart in one piece, and the pin goes reinserted right here. And I'm also doing this so I could see how I disassembled my marker. And there's nothing in the other side of the shell. There shouldn't be anything in there. So it looks like there's nothing in here. It's all cleared out. There's nothing in here as far as I can tell. I did not have to remove the rails. So that's one less thing I have to put back together. So I'm just going to put the left side of the shell over there on my table. I believe this looks interesting. So this bolt is kind of different. I'm going to pull the actuator arm up, and actually I'm going to take off my sear and spring before I do anything weird, or just in case it wants to pop out. So I'm just going to pull this out from here. Get a different pick. Pull this out, put that over there, take out my sear, put that over there. I'll leave this in here because I don't really need to take that out. But I'm going to pull this, slide this up, or attempt to. I'll take out my charge handle. This has to be repositioned in here a certain way so that you can allow the, so there's a hole in this, and it has to be able to put the drive spring back in, but I'll show that later. I just want to look at this actuator arm, so I'll be right back. All right, so I think I had to remove the valve out of here to be able to get access to that, but I took the ASA off of this gas pipe, and this is threaded into the bottom. The A5 has a tombstone adapter, but you can pull this out, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so there's an O-ring that's sealing it on the inside, and then this is the gas line that connects to your air tank, your air source. This is the ASA. There's a O-ring in there that I'll probably grease it later. This is a brand new marker, so it really doesn't need it. But I'll grease it or oil it later. But I just want to take apart this thing and look at my valve and stuff to see if I could fit a different valve spring in there, or if I can stick a 68 caliber valve in this power tube. But all this is one piece. I think it's basically like a guide for the round balls to go in here. Kind of interesting. I've never seen a design like this before, but the bolt is hiding behind it, and this black piece is the power tube. So, and then this is the velocity adjuster. So I do want to take this out. So I'm going to get a 3/16 Allen key and unscrew the back. I'm just going to remove this other spring for the trigger and pull my safety out so I don't have to worry about that falling out. There's a couple other pieces that can seem to be removable. This trigger guard you can take off, and there's this piece right here. I don't know what its purpose is aside from keeping the shell together, because it has a little little nipple right here, like a little nub hanging out the top. So yeah, pretty simple breakdown. So far, I'm gonna get my 3/16 Allen key, and I would flip this over, but I'll just show you guys after. Basically, I'm getting to the valve right here. It uses, okay, I think it uses an 1/8 inch Allen key because this is way too big. So get my 1/8 inch Allen key and remove the valve and see what's going on in there. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I took the valve screws out from the reverse side of the shell. They're pretty short. They have a little bit of like a thread lock on them. So these are for the valve. And basically on the reverse side, there's 2 holes that's holding it in place. So now I can remove all this stuff, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because the valve was keeping it. The valve screws were keeping this from lifting out. But now I can get into this. So I'm gonna take this out. And this is the bolt. This is definitely different than the A5 bolt. I'll have to compare it later. And the striker hammer, this thing, it has a different part number for the 68 cal version and this one. So I don't know if the 68 caliber power tube is a different shape, or if it can fit. If the 68 cal striker can fit this, I don't know if I'll need it, but this feels pretty stiff. Like, for me to touch this with my finger and poke it, it's pretty hard. So I'm probably gonna definitely get a new spring for the inside, but I have to take this off, and you need a basically like a wrench to unscrew this, and then I need to re-Teflon it or put thread lock. I'll probably just use Teflon tape because I don't want to wait for a long time for the thread lock to set, and then I'll have to mess with either warming up the thread lock to remove it again. So this one definitely uses 3/16 Allen key to adjust the velocity. I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure it's unblocked. Like, there's nothing blocking this. Yeah, it's pretty much out as much as I can put it. So this tube is pretty small. I will mess with this velocity spring though, because this is really tight. Like, it's pretty hard to push with my hand, and if I weaken that spring, it'll be able to expel more air out from the front, which is what I want. So I'm gonna get a wrench or something. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, 7/16 wrench for the valve nut right here. So it's on there pretty good. I might have to put this in a vise or something. I'll be right back. All right, I was able to get it without having to resort to needing a vise or something. But I wouldn't recommend putting this in a vise because it's plastic. This black power tube is plastic. So once I take this out, I should be able to pop the valve out and then mess with the valve spring and measure it and stuff. So this is like thread locker stuff from Tippmann. Pretty messy job. And I'm gonna push this out from the front. Hopefully, yeah, that fits in there. So I'm using a wooden chopstick. You can use a wooden dowel. I don't know what size this is, but I'm just gonna push this out. And I got my valve out of here. So I will take this probably to Ann's gear, the power tube and this piece, to see if the 68 caliber valve will fit in here. And then I also have to check if the slots where it expels gas, which is like here and here, there's this channel on the side. I have to see if those are sort of oriented the same. But if the 68 cal valve does not fit in this power tube, then I'll just have to stick with this 50 cal valve because it's a different part number and stuff. So it could be different. It could be bigger. I would assume it's bigger, but I don't know 100%. So to remove this, there's a pin right here, and you have to just punch it out. So I'm going to be doing that for a second. That was pretty easy. So I just got an Allen key and pushed this down. You can see it coming out the other side. And I'm kind of putting a little bit of pressure on this cap because the spring is going to make this want to pop out, the valve spring. So I took the pin out right now for the valve, and then the valve spring's making this want to pop out. And I'm going to remove this. There's an O-ring in here that I can see, and there's a lot of thread locker gunk, which is not ideal. And then you have the spring I took out right here, and you have a cup seat and a seal and stuff. And this is pretty normal. And then down there's a brass seat and a O-ring underneath the brass seat. I don't need to take that out or anything, but I am going to get some either paper towel or something and clean out all this thread locker crap in here because it's like excessive. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, you guys, gunk is mostly cleaned out, but what I want to do is measure these springs, see how thick the gauge is, see how long they are, see if my spring kit that I bought for the A5, see if those springs will fit, because there was 2 valve springs. One of them was for a, I'm assuming probably the Tippmann 98, and then the other one was for the A5. The A5 valve spring was like 3/4 of an inch long, and the 98, I believe, is like 0.95 inches long, and that's kind of looking like what this is, almost an inch long. So I'm pretty sure that that valve spring will fit in here. And it's not going to be like the best one because it's from a paintball kit, so they're not trying to let you hit super fast speeds. So I probably will have to get a something from Amazon. So this is 1.2 millimeters. I'll probably get a 1.0 millimeter spring from Amazon because I think the one in the kit is 1.1 millimeters. And this is about, what the hell's going on with this thing? Cheap caliper. So this thing is pretty much like an inch long, 24.8 millimeters. I'm gonna go grab my paintball kit spring thing, and I'll compare these wire gauge diameters. So I'll be right back. So yeah, the valve spring from my Tippmann kit, which I bought a while back, it's a good match for this. This was the Cronus, the original valve spring. This is the TechT one, and it's pretty sure it's probably less than 1.2 millimeters because it's supposed to be lightened. So yeah, it's pretty much like 1.1. My caliper is going crazy right now. I don't know. I think the batteries are going dead or something, or it's just really cheap. So 1.1, pretty much. The stock one was 1.2 millimeters, and I can tell that the length is shorter or the same, because yeah, it's pretty much like the same. So the silver one is the one from the kit. So this is gonna go into my TechT kit, and that's the Cronus spring. That's the A5 spring, the original ones. I'm gonna put this in here. I have my little pin and seat down there. I'll probably put some oil on that. I'll be right back. All right, got my silicone grease. Gonna put that on the seat right here. This is a brand new marker, so I really don't need to do this, but it doesn't hurt because I'm not gonna take this valve apart too often. I'll probably only take it apart again if I have some sort of issues, or if whenever I order a new valve spring that's even lighter than this one. So this is the TechT lightened valve spring. Gonna put a little bit of grease on it just for giggles. Throw that in there. Get the cap that goes on here. Put some grease on that O-ring, shiny green O-ring, and put it back together. And then I'll be using this in the future. I gotta see if I get any big improvement in speeds with this lightened spring, which I'm assuming I'll get a little bit of a bump, but not a huge bump. And yeah, that's all back in. You just push this cap back down, line up the holes, and put the pin back in. This was the pin that I took out earlier. So it just kind of pushes through. And yeah, so this is all set. I do need to clean this off, clean this crap off of here. This thread locker stuff, they really gooped it on there pretty good. And I'm just gonna put Teflon tape instead of this thread locker stuff, because yeah, I don't want to wait forever for it to set. So I have tape over here by the kitchen sink. And yeah, I'm just gonna put this back together. It's gonna take me a minute, so I don't know if I want to make this like a super long video. So anyways, that's what I found out. I did need to check the drive spring actually really quick. So my A5 kit, I think they're 5 millimeters. Oh baby, all right. So this is pretty much the same as the A5 drive springs that I have in my kit. So I will be able to use those springs also, pretty sure. I think they were like 3/16 of an inch. All right, you guys, I reassembled the thing. I put my air tank on it just to see if it holds air. It's charged right now because this handle's back. And there's nothing in this. There's no ammo. There's nothing down the breech or anything. So test firing. I don't hear any hissing. It's already aired up. I don't hear any hissing or anything, so yeah, it's pretty much good. I'm gonna take this air tank off the bottom, and I do need to get this tank filled. I typically wait till all my air tanks are ran out, and then I go to the store and fill them. But this one's barely like at like 600 or something like that. It's not that high. But yeah, it's aired up. So I will take this out and fire it probably tomorrow or something. It's kind of late now, and I'll see if I have any improvement. This is still the normal stock drive spring. I didn't change that out yet because I just want to see if changing that valve spring gave me any sort of bump in speed, and I'm pretty sure it did, but I won't know until I check it on the chronograph with my HPA tank. So the last time I shot it with the 1.4 gram nylon balls, the HPA tank was hitting like 294 or 292, the highest it got, with this same drive spring. And this drive spring has been like cocked back for about 4 or 5 days because I'm trying to keep that pressure off the detent. The one thing that I can't do with this Cronus is when I keep my A5 in storage, or like when I have it just on standby, I usually take the spring out, and it's easy to do on the A5 because of the little cap right here. You can just pull pins out, and then you can get to the spring and remove the spring and put the cap back, and then charge the handle, and it takes the bolt off the detent. This one doesn't have that functionality, so I have to take apart the whole thing to get to that spring to remove it. So I'm just gonna leave this normal stock paintball spring in here and keep it charged and keep the detents from going bad. I think I can only order the detents for this 50 caliber Cronus directly from Tippmann or from tippmannparts.com. So that's just something. I don't need to replace it yet because it still works fine, but that's something I'm gonna have to eventually buy a couple of them. So yeah, I got to get a new one of those little orange things. It works fine right now, but I'd rather have a couple spare parts when I don't need them than to need the spare parts when this thing actually, something goes bonkers on it. And that's like an easy switch out the detent. But I do have to take apart the whole thing to get in there to get to it. And I forgot to mention that metal housing stuff right here that goes to the hopper feed area and the bolt, not the bolt, the barrel adapter, and the thing that was in front of the power tube. I'm pretty sure that is a 50 caliber like conversion thing, because this is a 68 caliber marker, and they put those extra different pieces in it: the 50 cal striker hammer, the 50 cal power tube, 50 cal valve, 50 cal bolt, that weird metal assembly that's in the front right here. They have that in there to reduce the size, so it will allow 50 caliber stuff. So I can easily turn this into a 68 caliber marker or paintball launcher, by just removing that metal piece that's in the front, changing out this barrel adapter, and doing some other things. But I think the cost of buying those parts to make it a 68 caliber marker, I'm almost better off just buying another Cronus and having a 68 caliber version, because I think like all those parts together is like almost $50-$60. And I've seen used Cronuses sell for $60, like used 68 caliber versions of the Cronus for like $60 or like 70. So I'm almost better off just, I'm not going to buy a 68 caliber version just to have two of them, but I'm just saying, like, to convert it to 68 cal, it's almost cost the same to just buy a 68 cal version than to just get the parts and fix it yourself. And then you'll have two of these. But anyways, thanks for checking it out. Sorry it was kind of long. I'll show more stuff about this once I get parts, or once I actually change out this drive spring. But for now, I'm just going to see if I have any improvement with just the valve spring to the light tinned valve spring, which is in here right now. So thanks for checking it out, and see you guys next time.